We're trying something new this evening in taking the public hearing out in the field. And so I want to say a special thank you to the folks here at Roosevelt Coffee House for graciously hosting us and the entire council out tonight. Many thanks to Mr. Kenny Sipes and his staff for hosting this evening. Please make sure to frequent the coffee shop. I got my coffee, as we want to make sure that we're supporting our small businesses. I'm Councilmember Ryan Hardin, chair of this committee. At this time, I'd also like to recognize my colleagues. First, Councilmember Priscilla Tyson, who is joining me this evening. You would like to say hello?
Good evening. I'm happy to be here tonight, and I chair the Workforce Development Committee.
And our council president, Andrew Ginther.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here and excited to hear some of the testimony. I got to duck out for a community meeting in Marion, Franklin in a little while, but I wanted to be here and support Councilmember Hardin's work in taking this committee out on the road. We're excited about some of the work that you'll hear about tonight, and some of you all have been part of it since Council created the Small Business Roundtable about two and a half years ago. There's been some great progress, and we look forward to some continued improvement and increased performance of our work based on your input and the guidance and leadership of Councilmember Hardin. So thanks for being here.
Thank you, President Ginther. I would also encourage council members to ask any questions as the presentations go along. And before I introduce the speakers, I'd like to share a few things that City Council has done specifically to support small businesses in our city. First, Councilmember Eileen Paley sponsored an ordinance that was passed by council in the amount of $25,000 from our Jobs Growth Fund to permit small business owners to participate in the city's citywide training and development courses offered through the Department of Human Resources. In the first 3 months of this initiative, we've had 38 participants representing 21 different small businesses taking over 67 courses. These courses range from trying to figure out Microsoft Excel basics to dealing with difficult customers, giving and receiving effective feedback, and making meetings more efficient. In order to participate in these courses, your business must have less than 50 employees, be located in Columbus, and be registered as a vendor with the city. Please look that program up. I've been really proud of it. It's a resource that the city offers. We have top-notch trainers that come in, and it's a resource for you. Also, it is the citywide training and development courses. We'll make sure you have information. We have information here on all the programs that we'll speak about this evening. Council also provides funding for the MBE Academy through Councilmember Tyson's Workforce Committee. And since the chair of the committee is here, I'd like to offer the floor to Councilmember Tyson if she'd like to speak more about this program.
Thank you, Councilmember Hardin. As President Ginther stated, about 2.5 years ago, City Council brought in a number of small businesses to come in and to talk with us about some of the needs that they may have in terms of them growing their businesses in the city of Columbus. And so I had the opportunity to chair the networking and the training, workforce development training for that initiative. That's one of the initiatives that came from that Councilmember Paley put in this year again was the training for businesses under 50. We have wonderful, wonderful classes, as they mentioned, at the City of Columbus to allow small businesses to come in and take those classes for free. And you need to be certified through, I know Director Carter will probably talk about this, but being certified with the City of Columbus, you have access to great classes. We also, through that initiative, did a survey of small business owners to find out what their workforce development needs are. And we have that information. You can get that information online to hear what some of the needs are in the community and what we've done to be able to support those needs. And lastly, as Councilmember Hardin just mentioned, we have what's called the the MBE Academy, and that is through the Ohio Minority Developer Supplier Council. And if you are a small minority business, you can register for this program. It is an 8-week, 8 classes that you will then be certified by the Ohio Supplier Development Council, Minority Development Council. You can get your certification through that. You can do business with the major corporations, with not only in Columbus, but within the state of Ohio. And just to give you a couple facts, that we normally have 30 people in the class each period. This is our second class. The first class that we held in 2013, we had 32, their statistics now are 32 newly hired employees, and they hit a mark of $13 million in increased revenue. So so it's really important that if you are a business and you want to work with this program, just give my office a call, 645-2932. We'll connect you with the program, and hopefully you will be getting that program, and again, your business will continue to grow. It's a great, great opportunity. Thank you, Councilmember Hardin.
Thank you, Councilmember Tyson. And I'll just take a break so my colleague, Councilmember Page, can come on up.
Come on.
Yep.
Yep.
And turn your name tag around. Councilmember Page chairs the Education and Recreation and Parks Committee on Council. Councilmember Page, I don't want to put you on the spot, but give you the opportunity to say hello.
Hello, everyone, and my apologies for being late. I am very happy to be here in support of my colleague, Councilman Shannon Hardin. I think this is an absolutely wonderful event that he's having here in the community in support of our small and minority businesses. Thank you all for coming this evening, and I'm just interested in hearing your concerns, your issues, and doing what I can as a member of council, as a part of this great team, to continue to be supportive of your businesses throughout our city. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Page. The subject of tonight's hearing is the resources the city provides to help entrepreneurs and small businesses. We will also talk about 2 pieces of legislation that I'll be bringing before council in the coming weeks. We will hear from Director Melinda Carter, Executive Director of the Equal Business Opportunity Commission, Quinten Harris, Deputy Director of the Department of Development, Ryan Schick, the city's Small Business Concierge and Assistant Director of Building and Zoning Services, and Mr. David All, founder of Civic Hacks. Before we begin, please note that tonight's hearing is being broadcast on CTV, Columbus's government television channel, and rebroadcast will be available online at columbus.gov. Small businesses like the Roosevelt Coffee House are crucial to the city because they provide jobs to our residents, they pay taxes to provide services, they are part of the vitality of our community, and they demonstrate the growth of our region. In a moment, Director Carter will present on her office's work for minority and female-owned businesses in Columbus, and because of some of the historic hurdles faced by those 2 groups, not only in Columbus, but throughout the state and the nation. With that, I will turn it over to Director Carter.
Thank you. I certainly am glad to be here this evening. Of course, many of you know me, but if not, my name is Melinda Carter, and I'm proud to serve the city as the Executive Director of the Equal Business Opportunity Commission Office. And our office is charged with facilitating the equitable opportunity, facilitating the opportunities for minority and small business owners, women business owners, to participate in the procurement process. Typically, we work with businesses who are looking to work with the city. So if it is a business that doesn't provide a service that the city would buy, which the city buys everything just about, then we would provide other sorts of resources or referrals to you. But our office primarily works with businesses who are looking to sell us something or to provide us with a professional service. Our office is, of course, housed in the mayor's office, as part of the mayor's office, and we're located in the Model Cities building at 1393 East Broad. We used to be in 109, but when our building was torn down, we've moved up the street on East Broad Street. So you're welcome to stop by our offices at any time. We have a number of functions, but one of our most critical functions is to certify businesses as minority and female owned. And that is important for a number of reasons. First of all, it's important because we do know that there are tons of minority and tons of women-owned businesses and small businesses out there that meet the criteria that we've established to be certified. And in this industry, and this is a big industry, a global industry that deals with inclusion, we are constantly looking for and try to determine who is a minority-owned business, who is a woman-owned business, and what does that mean? You know, I say, I'm a woman, I can go buy a McDonald's tomorrow if I had the money. But that doesn't mean I will be qualified as a certified business, because there's some things that you have to do. You have to not only own it, but you have to control it. There are certain things that are not eligible for certification and some businesses that are. But we can explain all that. But it is important, and so there are reasons why we want you to get certified, because I'm constantly sharing with everyone, my colleagues in other departments, that there are minority and women-owned firms that can do everything. And let's make opportunities available to everybody. But if you're not certified, then it looks like I'm not being completely honest or transparent in that, there's nobody out there that does window cleaning, or there's no one out there that designs, fire station, or because there's no one out there that's a minority firm or a woman-owned firm that is an interior designer. But I know that's not true. So I think certification is important for those reasons, because in order to have a program, you've got to have a pool of available vendors who are in fact certified as minority and females. That's critical, and that's an underpinning to why certification is important. But one thing that I always try to share when I speak with people about why it's important to certify is for other reasons that have nothing to do with your ability to secure a contract. I went to OU, and I'm a proud OU Bobcat. Yay. I'm in sorority. I'm a proud member of that. I'm in organizations that I'm proud of. And sometimes I'll have an OU shirt on, or I'll have a sorority shirt on, or another organization that I'm in shirt on, or I'll, have a union shirt, because it's not only because I'm proud of it, and I am, but it's also because others who are like me may emulate that. So I encourage minority and women, particularly women and minorities and small businesses, to do that, because you never know who's looking at you to say, you know what, I could be an engineer, I could be a landscape architect, I could be a bridge builder, I could be all sorts of things, and I didn't know there was anyone else like me that did that. So that certification has a dual role to me. One is it's important because we got to have a available pool, but secondly, it's important because in order to grow the pool and to let people know that we're proud of it, and so people can emulate you, it's important to certify. So our office certification. Now, people always complain that it's difficult. We do it really quickly. We have reciprocal certifications with other agencies. The Ohio Council that Councilmember Tyson talked about, we have reciprocal with that. The state of Ohio, we have a reciprocal certification with that organization. WeBank, which is a women's business certifier. We try to make certification as simple as possible. If I have to sit down with you and walk you through it, I will do that. And we have people in my office that will. So certification, if you're a minority business, even if you don't want to sell to the city, I encourage you to get certified. Our government office is free certification. The state is free. School board has one. A lot of them have them that don't cost. Some of the private sectors do. And it's probably worth it to do that as well. But at the very least, if it doesn't cost anything, if you get free advertisement and it identifies you in a group of like-minded people, why not? So I really encourage you to be certified, and that's one of the principal things that our office does. The other thing we do in our office is, of course, when we identify this pool, we work really hard to make sure that our minority and women-owned businesses and small businesses know about opportunities and are able to bid. So I have to report to City Council and, of course, the mayor about how we're doing. What are our utilization rates? How are we using minority and women-owned businesses? And I can tell you that our utilization rate is about 8.2% overall, which we'd like to do better, but it really isn't. It's really quite competitive when we look at other places. And in some areas, particularly in the professional service arena, we have been hitting historical highs for the past few years. We're around a little over 30%. So we're really proud. I can tell you that during this administration, we've spent nearly $500 million for the minority firms. I always say, even though the city budget is huge, as Councilmember Tyson knows, the chair of the Finance Committee, we have a huge budget. And so people think, but of that budget, only 8% can go to minority firms. That may be, but that 8% is a bunch of money. So if you think about $500 million over the last 15 years, or even if you think about $10 million or $13 million last year, if you had a contract that was $200,000 or $50 or $80 or $100, it would make a difference in your business. So the opportunity for minorities and women and small businesses to compete in the city is real. And we have real businesses that do real work with us. We have been hosting a series of conversations with city certified businesses with Councilmember Hardin over the past few months, and we've had a great response from minority businesses who are doing work with us. But we want to see people who are not doing business with us. So I was so glad to come here. And if there's anybody here that thinks that they are interested in doing work with the city, they need our services, I have some information that I'll be glad to take, you'll be glad to take, or call my office. But we do track utilization. We're required to report it quarterly and annually. We have an online monitoring and tracking system that we're implementing that's going to be web-based. We always had a tracking system, but we have a new one. We partner with all of the other departments to make sure when there are bid opportunities, you know about them. We are a great resource for people who are looking to do business with the city, who understand the importance of having a diverse supplier network. And not only to do business with us, you can also do business with people who contract with us and need subcontractors. So there's all sorts of opportunities. So don't just look at just what we do at the city, but think about people who also are looking for subcontractors, and we can help facilitate those relationships. We're a relationship builder. We're a technical assistance provider. We're a certifier. We're a reporter. And we like to just be a resource for you. So if there are small businesses that think you could utilize our services in any way, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can go to columbus.gov, go to the EBO link. Our office number is 645-4764. We're really at a good time in terms of the support. The mayor has been very adamant about inclusion. City council has been very supportive in making sure that we reach out and support minority and women and small businesses. And so that's been a passion of mine for many years. And so you'll be hearing more about that. One last thing. Over the past year, we've been engaged in something called our Small Business Initiative, looking at should we be implementing a small business program that helps small businesses irrespective of race and gender. We've been working over that for a year. We had focus groups, about 40 focus groups. We've talked to probably 2,000 or 3,000 business owners. We've done everything to come up with a plan to implement a new program that will address some of the issues faced by small business. So I'm curious to hear about some of the things that you may raise. So we keep engaged with the small business community as much as possible and invite you to share with us your thoughts about how we can progress. But again, thank you so much. I have some coasters here if you want to take one. I have some information over there about our office. And again, if there's anything that we can ever do to work with you or to assist you, connect you with the right people in the city and in this region, please call on us. Thank you very much, Councilmember Hardin.
Thank you, Director. It sounds like the first thing that folks need to do is reach out to your office and get certified. If they're not certified, get certified, and you guys can start to help. That number again is 645-4764.
That's correct.
Thank you. Council members, any questions? Thank you, Director Carter. Next up, we have Deputy Director Quinten Harris. Director Harris's portfolio in the Department of Development is Jobs and Economic Development. This means Mr. Harris is responsible for the city's policies to stimulate our economy in areas of helping existing businesses retain and expand their operations, as well as recruiting new businesses and industries to locate within the city of Columbus. Director Harris.
I would like to start by saying that I'm the Deputy Director in the Department of Development. Within my office, or my division, there's 3 offices. One, which is our Office of Business Assistance, that work with a lot of large businesses across the city. We also have an Office of Infrastructure Investment that partners with business to develop neighborhoods, to work in partnership to build infrastructure that supports a lot of the developments that we work collaboratively with businesses across the city. And our third office is our Office of Financial Assistance that focuses a lot on working with small and emerging businesses throughout the city. And that's the office that I'm going to focus on for purposes of this conversation. Within this office, we have a number of financial programs, being loan programs, grant programs, as well as a team that provides a lot of technical assistance to small emerging businesses to help you, quite frankly, be more profitable, to identify resources within the city that can help your business grow and find new customers, as well as help emerging businesses take that next leap to the next segment, and that may take additional financial resources, that may take a little help with securing and being able to maintain larger contracts with other businesses, and our team, quite frankly, is there to help you with members of other folks on this panel to help you be successful. Regarding our financing programs, the majority of our dollars are federal dollars that we get through the CDBG fund, that we have created several revolving loan funds to support various investments that small businesses make. My colleague, Hannah Reed, has some handouts that she can pass out throughout the audience that details a number of these programs. I'm just going to touch very high level. On a number of them. But with that being said, the programs that we have can max out up to $199,999, and that's based on a federal formula, not going above $200,000. But with those programs, we provide very low interest programs, loan programs. The city's not trying to make a profit. We work with servicers that sets the market rate based on all the factors that any bank would offer a small business, except we're willing to be a little bit more flexible with some of the terms that we provide for our small business loan programs. We can fund the acquisition of real estate, equipment. We also have a working capital program that can provide up to $100,000 that you can use to pay for inventory, to also pay for fixed asset investments within your facility, as well as payroll, for example. Once again, with all these programs, our servicers look at all the very same things that a bank do. So you have to be bankable. You have to meet all of the minimum requirements that you would if you were to go to a bank, except we can be a lot more flexible as it relates to our rates and terms. Because our prime initiative is to create jobs and to help you grow your business, not make money on the interest rates that we charge. We also have a number of grant programs as well. Once again, that's focused on helping you grow your business. So the majority of our grant programs are focused on real estate and equipment. And so we have a number of different programs that can help in our neighborhood commercial revitalization areas, which is our NCR areas, and there's 7 different business districts around the city that we focus certain resources in. We just created an interior grant program that can, which is a reimbursable matching grant program that can provide up to $25,000 to a business to help with fixed asset investments within your building. We also have an exterior grant program that provides dollars to you to help. It can help with signage. It can help with various investments that you need to make in the facade of your building to improve the beauty of your building and allow you to market it better to your clients. We also have a program, it's called the Green Columbus Fund, that can help you if you're looking to certify your building to LEED standards, or if you have a building that has environmental issues, asbestos, for example. We have a program that can provide you up to $200,000 in funding to help remediate that building if it's historic or otherwise, to bring it up to standards for you to occupy and run your business. The third leg of our assistance is our technical assistance that we can provide. We have members of our team who have been working with the city for years and have relationships with a number of businesses, service providers that you may be able to connect with and identify partnerships to gain contracts. We also work with Melinda's shop as well to help you maximize your opportunities. And so on the technical side, and Ryan will talk a little bit more when he speaks, we partner a lot with Ryan with his Business Gateway and a number of other resources that can once again help you identify ways to gain additional contracts and partnerships to further grow your business. So once again, you can contact us on columbus.gov/economic development. You can reach us at 645-8616. If you reach out to us, myself or any member of my team can definitely help you and lead you to the right resources, talk you through all the program qualifications, and provide you that technical assistance that will, quite frankly, help you not run into as many walls and can help you reach your outcome a lot faster and smoother.
Thank you, Director. Just one question: How are we doing right now in terms of engagement? Do folks just call into your office? How is that going with folks knowing about your service and getting connected?
From a number of different factors. Folks call and reach out to us. We also work with a lot of the NCR leaders who provide us a lot of lead points and connect us with a lot of businesses who need various types of assistance. We work closely with Ryan, who get a lot of inquiries from small businesses, and we work together to try to find those solutions, whether they're technical or financial. So we receive them from a number of different perspectives.
Thank you. Councilmember Tyson.
Thank you, Chairman.
Hardin.
My mind went, I was thinking about the director, I'm sorry. My question is, so in terms of the resources available, you mentioned a number of programs. I just want to make sure that we definitely have the dollars available to be able to provide to the community.
Yes. In our revolving loan program, every year we have dollars that revolve back into the program. We get an allocation every year from the department, from HUD. So our loan programs are pretty solvent right now. Our grants that we have, a lot of the dollars come from council. And so we have the Interior Grant Program, for example, just launched this year. And we actually have our first applicant that's actually on Long Street that we passed. And I think our second applicant will be from this area as well. So all of our programs have sufficient amount of resources to help. So definitely take advantage of them.
Yes. Councilmember Page.
Thank you, Chair Hardin. I'll talk about it. We get a lot of questions about CDBG funds, and can you just talk briefly about how people qualify for those and kind of the process?
Okay. Regarding the CDBG funds, the majority of the funds that at least my division received are focused on our small business loan programs. And so for every $30,000 that we loan out, we have to create at least one job. And 51% of the jobs that are created have to be low to moderate income individuals. So those are the type of requirements that we talk through when we're talking to the businesses because they aren't city dollars. And so with them being federal dollars, we have to adhere to a number of federal requirements. So there is a reporting aspect that each business has to go through yearly, that they're certifying that they're creating the number of jobs in the period of time that we agree upon, that they're low to moderate individuals, and quite frankly, that you're meeting all of those thresholds as well as suitable repayment, that you're meeting your repayment terms, et cetera. So members of my team would walk you through all of those steps and make sure that your project would qualify, whether it be on the investment that you want to make, as well as the terms of meeting the terms of those CDBG dollars and those requirements.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Director. Next, we have Mr. Ryan Schick, Director Ryan Schick, who is our Small Business Concierge. Ryan and his office, his one-man office, has become the front door for small businesses to the City of Columbus. We really appreciate his work. My experience with small businesses, that folks have really appreciated the work that he has been doing. So I wanted to give Ryan an opportunity to talk about the work that he's doing and then take questions. Thank you.
Ryan Schick, I'm your Small Business Concierge. Excuse me. A lot of people ask what the Small Business Concierge is, but you get the idea from concierge, and that is you walk into a fine hotel, nice hotel, and you ask, what is X, or where do I find Y? When the City Council convened the Small Business Roundtable 2.5 years ago, they challenged the small businesses to come back to the city with one answer. And that answer was a singular point of contact within the city. Now, City Council, listening to the Small Business Roundtable and being the very proactive, pro-business city government that we are, created this position. And I'm lucky enough, I swear, I'm lucky enough to have this position because it's become something I studied in law school that sounded theoretical, but we've developed a connective tissue within the city. So what does I do? Step number one is to create efficiency. And I'm going to give you an example of that. I had an individual who contacted my office one day, and as George C. Scott said in the movie Patton, sometimes, you know, two people, he was talking about the Brits and the Americans, of course, but he said two people speaking a common language. Engineers and individuals on the outside who are submitting applications, especially this particular couple who were both on a fixed income and greater than 75 years old, were trying to start a chili restaurant over on Fifth Avenue. And they contacted my office, and there was a little bit of confusion about how they were going to prepare the chili because they're doing it off-site at one of the city's great incubators. And but the question was whether or not they needed to have an grease trap underneath the sink. I was able to, in 20 minutes, I was able in 20 minutes to get both engineers together and the gentleman on the phone and save him $20,000. For two individuals of 75 years old, that's a lot of money, especially when you're starting up your own business. But this has not been something that's just been alone. This has required, I always say we when we talk about this position, because this has been a full team effort. City of Columbus created a position. Council President Genther and the members of council, along with Mayor Coleman, have been instrumental in making this happen. Deputy Director Quinten Harris has been fantastic. But as you'll hear from David All in a few minutes, well, I hope I'm not that long, there's also been significant assistance from the outside with Ohio Small Business Development Center, Rev 1, Small Business Majority, Finance Fund, ECDI, who's in the back, who deserve all the recognition that they get. Trent Smith. Trent, would you please stand up and wave your hand? Trent is a champion right now for Franklinton, and a lot of the growth going on in Franklinton is because of him. He gave 45 minutes to my mother-in-law last week and drove her around Franklinton, and she left thrilled and excited about what's going on in this city. But it's not just Franklinton, it's all over the place. People are doing things right now to get it done. So again, the answer is, what do we do? I challenged myself when I started this position. I've talked about efficiency, and I wanted to identify a metric for success. And tonight I'm very happy to say that that metric has been met not once but twice, and that was to have other cities spend their taxpayer dollars to see what we're doing. Actually, excuse me, it's been met now 4 times. State of Ohio is now investigating a position like this, so they're doing a series of discovery meetings with my office about creating a position just like this within the state government. I've also heard that Franklin County is considering the exact same. What was very exciting was a couple weeks ago, Asheville, North Carolina called and spent 2 hours on the phone with a consultant that they were paying for by taxpayer dollars to ask us what we're doing here. And I love that Columbus, Ohio is getting out there and is doing things that are brave and bold. And that is creating a position that is a connective tissue within the city across all departments. And within building and zoning services, a lot of the questions I answer are zoning, but many of them also go over to development. They go over to ECDI, they go over to Rev 1. A lot of these things are, again, back to that singular point of contact. One point of very personal pride for me, being a lawyer, along with Mr. Harris, and also we're both fellow Hoosiers, IU Hoosiers that is, but got a phone call from George Washington Law School 2 weeks ago, and they want to, they invited me out in late August to speak to their incoming 1L class because they read in Kiplinger's what we're doing here in Columbus, and they want to study the models of collaborative governance as well, which is creating public-private partnerships, which is giving the private sector a strong voice within the city. And last, I'm going to say that I was a former journalist, and one of the elements on the job description that I absolutely loved was being an ombudsman. So, although I report to them, I report to you. I report to you first and foremost. And when we're doing something right, I report that back to City Council. If there's something that needs to be addressed, every member of council, those here and not present, have always been extraordinarily responsive to my office. So, in short, what I want to do, and it's being as efficient as possible, is I have an email alias. It's much easier than spelling my last name. I have an email alias that goes directly to me. It's smallbiz, B-I-Z, @columbus.gov. Or you can contact me personally. I'm out of the office about 80% of the time. I'm always out in the field. Many of you see me out and about. My boss sometimes wonders where I am, but he's got my calendar. He knows I'm meeting with XYZ at Mission Coffee or Tommy's over some eggs or just doing a variety of things. But I always get my voicemails forwarded to my email, so I'll call you back promptly. I'm an inbox zero kind of guy. So reach me at 645-1984 and let me know what we can do for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. I also want to thank Director Messer and the whole team over at Building and Zoning Services for hosting this position. This position came out of, like you said, the Small Business Roundtable that the council, before I came on council, created. So we heard from small businesses that this was a position that was needed for the city. This will be, or to that effect, my office will be drafting an ordinance to continue funding the Small Business Concierge program. And we'll bring that before council in the next few weeks to continue funding Ryan's great work. So thank you. Any questions?
I'm just going to add to that. We're just really excited to have Ryan, and because as you heard from him, that he certainly has been able to impact small businesses, and that's exactly what we want. We want a one-stop shop, call one number, and then Ryan can go from there. So this is really key for small minority businesses to move forward. So he's doing a great job. We're so glad he's here and look forward to the continued partnership.
Of course.
I say this humbly. Somebody pointed out during Chase Startup Week, but I think this is a testament to the environment that the City of Columbus has created. I am, as was pointed out currently, the only person in the country who has a job like this. And I think that that speaks to the entrepreneurial spirit not only of Columbus, but also of its government. So I just wanted to add that last part.
One of the areas that I want to get some support for Ryan is making sure that we're pubbing the work that he's doing so that folks know that this resource is here with the City of Columbus. So I want to make sure that we have the marketing material and dollars to get that position or this opportunity out to folks. So that's something that we'll work with his team and with the administration on in the coming year. Again, I want to invite folks to stop by the coffee shop and get coffee. We want to thank our host for hosting us. So if you need coffee or water or all the great goodies they have, please stop by. Lastly, I would like to introduce Mr. David All to address the committee on startup storytellers, tiny experiences, and how I find this to be a really awesome opportunity to develop an entrepreneurship curriculum. I met David when I first got on council, but also had the chance to read about some of his awesome work in Huffington Post a couple of weeks ago, called me back in, heard about some of the things that he was doing, was really excited. So I asked him to come and speak this evening to this committee. Mr. All.
Thank you very much, Chairman Hardin and honorable members of City Council, for allowing me to address the important issue of entrepreneurship in Columbus. My name is David All, and I'm the founder of Civic Hacks, which produces startup storytellers. Make no mistake, it is an exciting time to be an entrepreneur in Columbus. Indeed, we are a startup city bursting with entrepreneurial activity. In fact, according to an article published June 4th in the Columbus Business First, Columbus had the largest single leap in entrepreneurial activity of any major metropolitan area, rising to 12th place out of 40 from number 22 just a year ago. By contrast, Cleveland and Cincinnati both rank in the 30s, and all major surrounding cities are just as high. Columbus, in a sense, is an island of opportunity for entrepreneurs in the Midwest. This is great news, but we shouldn't rest on our laurels. Assume that the status quo in the startup ecosystem is good enough, or squander this opportunity to do something amazing. More people want to own their own business today than ever before. This is especially true for millennials, the largest generation in America, referred to by Forbes in 2014 as the true entrepreneur generation. They cite a study by Bentley University which found that 66% of millennials intend to start their own business someday. In February 2014, a Gen Y agency called Millennial Branding partnered with internships.com and issued results from a survey that they took which found that Generation Z, which is the generation after the millennials, is even more entrepreneurial. They found that 72% of high school students and 64% of college students want to start a business someday.
Wow.
But the process of becoming an entrepreneur, in finding that spirit to create something new, in having the courage to put your ideas on the line, in doing something about the problem you have found, and then in the unwavering perseverance to try, and try again, is not something that generates in you overnight, when you get a college degree or out of thin air. Through my experience, I have found that every entrepreneur has a unique journey and a story to tell, but they all started their path the same way: exposure to the idea of entrepreneurship through a story. At some point in their childhood, they can point to a role model, a family member, or an experience where they sold candy, made magic, or learned about a profession that someone created and were hooked. Seed planted. Indeed, the stories of some of Columbus's leading entrepreneurs, including Tanisha Robinson of Print Syndicate, Joe DeLoss of Hot Chicken Takeover, and Alex Frohmeyer of Beam, which were shared in March at our event, Startup Storytellers Spring 15, on stage with City Council President Andy Ginther, follows this same pattern. So what are we doing? What is Startup Storytellers Tiny Experiences collection all about? Planting the seeds of entrepreneurship in every single child in Columbus. We're doing that through storytelling, and we'll end up building the world's largest archive of entrepreneurial stories in the country. We imagine an experience where a student, or anyone, can search for stories of entrepreneurship from people that match their backgrounds: race, gender, sexuality, etc. Though I have founded or co-founded half a dozen companies in several cities, including Washington, D.C. and San Francisco, here in my hometown of Test City, USA, I'm pioneering a new path as a social entrepreneur. I believe that through the power of storytelling, entrepreneurship can be used to inspire entrepreneurs and help address domestic poverty. Poverty is on the rise. Though it is rarely discussed, Columbus has an alarmingly high poverty rate of 22.4%, significantly higher than it was in 1999 based on the US Census Bureau data. Our intention is to disrupt the cycle of poverty upstream through the demystification of and adoption of entrepreneurship as a life path. That work starts with storytelling, evolves into a curriculum, and brings awareness to an empowering STEM-based education. Startup storytellers will collect, create, and catalog inspiring stories from a diverse crew of entrepreneurs and make them easily available and accessible through the web. With the support of Columbus City Council, we hope to travel to many locations throughout the season and beyond to collect these diverse stories. We will also identify entrepreneurs willing to go into a classroom to tell their story about entrepreneurship. Working with City Council and other local elected officials, we hope to help craft a day of entrepreneurship in Columbus, where at least one day a year, every student will be exposed to the path of entrepreneurship. If it works here, it'll work everywhere. And that includes putting entrepreneurship in every classroom starting here in Test City, USA. To my knowledge, we'll be the first and only city taking this bold step forward. Our hope is to generate more entrepreneurs who will break out of the cycle of poverty and then work to use those resources to help their communities. And every child deserves to learn if she has what it takes to pursue entrepreneurship. Thank you for the opportunity to address your committee, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to address any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Some of the things that were really drew me to your project. One was the focus on diversity and meeting folks where they are. But secondly, just the simple thought or understanding that exposure is one of the best keys to getting folks to know and to take this step. And so I'm really excited about those pieces. Could you explain kind of how you're going to get out to in front of folks, and then how folks will be able to share their stories with you so then you can share with folks?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, I think on the one hand, it would be potentially converting some sort of cool vehicle that we can make a mobile studio to record these stories so that it could go anywhere. And whether that's a festival or the African American Male Wellness Walk or Rev 1 Ventures in the parking lot or whatever the case may be, just something extremely lightweight that can move around to wherever entrepreneurs are. Most entrepreneurs are heads down for the most part. But when they're out on the weekends and they happen to see something focusing on entrepreneurship and it's about storytelling and it's their story, they're gonna walk up to it and they're gonna wanna tell their story. That's just the way entrepreneurs are. So I think that's a piece of it. We're really interested in exploring the medium of a podcast and putting all of the stories out through audio as it's kind of a very not that expensive thing for us to do and to do it quickly. But also to retain a lot of high quality impact. And then, of course, on the web, every entrepreneur, we intend to give a profile. And whether that includes sort of written text, photos of them, et cetera. I mean, there's nothing like that that exists today.
Councilmember Tyson.
Chairman, thank you. Then my question would be, once you have you know, you film them and et cetera, so then how are you going to present that to, I guess, the children? Is that the idea, right? To take it to the schools or the rec centers, or just tell me how you're going to share that. I am very much interested in the issue around poverty and making sure that individuals be able to have an opportunity to see that entrepreneurship is certainly a way to move forward out of poverty. So just could you just share a little bit more about that? Sure.
So I think a lot of it would be, number one, help from City Council and the creation of a specific day that potentially early November, which is National Entrepreneurship Day, which is kind of a total throwaway thing as it's currently being implemented. But at least it's a starting point. And then what we would do is focus on essentially building a pretty good database of people that we could drive into the classrooms on a specific day to tell their story, and then work to align maybe a half-day curriculum or a 60-minute curriculum or whatever, right? I mean, we could create something like that pretty quickly with the resources in Columbus.
Thank you. I think that would be great also, Chairman, between Councilmember Page, since she is the education council member, that would be a great collaboration.
It certainly sounds like there's some partnership opportunities here. Something that could grow. This would also be a piece of legislation that I would bring before council to support. I think it's a great opportunity. Would like to work with David as he develops this more, but would like to support this as a way to take the stories of small business owners from all demographics out into the community, so young folks can hear these opportunities and can really be a path out of poverty, but a path to their success in any community. So thank you, David. At this time, we will entertain public comments and questions. We received several speaker slips. And our first speaker is Mr. Mike McCann. Would you please step to the mic, state your name, address, and any organization that you represent, and you will have 3 minutes.
All right, thank you, Council.
Just signal to me.
Being here.
Thank you.
My name is Mike McCann.
Just signal to me.
I'm honored to be a part of Rev 1 Ventures, located at 1275 Kinnear Road. Rev 1 Ventures, as Ryan mentioned a couple times and David even brought it up, we're in the business of helping entrepreneurs build strong, high-growth, technology-based businesses. And we work here in Central Ohio, not just in Columbus, but throughout the entire region to do that. And we do that in several key ways, the way we work with our entrepreneurs. One, we provide services and programs to those entrepreneurs, both with our direct staff and leveraging our connections and resources in the community to help them. We provide capital in the form of investment into those companies. So we have investments for very early stage companies under $100,000 trying to answer a question, yes or no, should this even be a business? And once we move them further along, we'll provide up to $400,000 of investment capital to a company, allow them to start building their team, growing their team, and really doing what we all want to do, which is create high-value technology-based jobs here in Central Ohio. And thirdly, we have an incubator on site at Kinnear Road. We call it Rev 1 Labs, where we'll house 30 to 40 companies at any given point in time, provide them additional services directly, and hopefully get them to a point where they can grow and move out into an office space here in the community. I think even more so, we're obviously very proud of the support and what we're able to do with those companies, but even beyond that, I think that the biggest thing, which you have all alluded to, is that we really want to be a connector in the community, and we want to leverage all the resources that Columbus and this region has. So out of the 500 to 600 concepts we'll see a year, I think just due to a natural limitation of our own resources, we can't work with everybody. So if we're not the right resource, or even if we're working with them, we do a lot to connect those businesses to other resources here in Columbus. It might be the SBDC, it might be ECDI, it might be other investment institutions here in Central Ohio, but we want to be a gateway. Even if it's not in the technological or high growth fit that we have, we want to have that company, have that entrepreneur off on the right foot to get going. Maybe it's connecting them directly to Ryan. Additionally, even just to the way that we're funded, we are not just a state organization. We are not just a private organization. We're actually an independent private nonprofit, and our funding comes from the state of Ohio and from the community at large. So the city of Columbus, a strong supporter of us, so thank you. Cities around the region, Dublin, New Albany, Westerville, Franklin County, among others, and even the corporate base here. So we're proud to be a part of this community, proud to be a part of, as David mentioned, seeing Columbus rise from 22 to 12 in the Kaufman Index. We know that's not Rev 1 and what we're doing. It's really indicative of the city as a whole, but we're incredibly proud to play a part of it. So if you're in the business, you want to try to start your own high growth company, come find me afterwards. One of my colleagues, Hannah Gray, is here on hand as well. And we want to be the first conversation you have. Like I said, whether or not we're a right fit, we can help you along the way in the same way Ryan might or others might. Thank you.
Thank you. 1 second, Mike. Any questions? All right. Thank you, Mike. Mr. McCann. Next up, we have Mr. Lawrence Alls. Mr. Alls, could you please say your full name, address, and any organization that you may represent? Again, you have 3 minutes.
Well, thank you. My name is Lawrence Alls, and that's my long-lost cousin, but we spell our names differently according to Ancestry.com because, he doesn't quite look like me. I live at 124 Brunson Avenue. I belong to several organizations. One is called AAACBO, and the other is the Thursday Noon Luncheon Club. And I tend to go out and report back to them things that I see. And as I was listening, I had heard Andy Ginther, I think, say once before, that there's kind of a tale of two cities. I happen to live and operate in the one that doesn't sound as rosy as I heard described today here. meaning the access to resources for the people that I know and represent don't seem to be as easy as it seems. I was sitting here just saying, wow, this is a perfect city, according to what I heard, until the young man, Mr. All, mentioned the word poverty. And that was the first time there was an acknowledgement that in a critical analysis of this community, there are in fact people who are not as advantaged as others and who may not qualify for, or they're not bankable, as the gentleman was talking about. That's who I know a lot more about. So the question becomes, if we're taking care of all the people who are indeed bankable, who have all the education that they need, all the advantages to be entrepreneurs, does that constitute the only pool of people that should be in the game? I come to say no. And I also came to say that I actually am working with a test case around what I would call either bureaucratic indifference or the fact that race still matters. And I think the country had began to believe that it doesn't until somebody had the nerve to murder grandmothers and women and children at a prayer meeting. And then it says, oh, race still matters to somebody, both pro and con on that subject. So I would simply say this, that in all of the analysis that we do, the person that I'm working with, I'm going to seek your assistance in helping the bureaucracy address itself to people who indeed don't automatically qualify as bankable, who don't have the advantages that some do in the society. And we can literally prove to you by evidence that it's not always working. So I'm addressing myself to the other Columbus that needs to be addressed as well. Thank you.
Mr. Oz, I really appreciate your comments. And Council President Ginther has spoken about this. We as a city are experiencing great success, but we need to make sure that we're sharing that success. And there are pockets of this community that don't always feel the success that we collectively are experiencing. I hope that public hearings like this are just the beginning of finding ways to reach everyone. I certainly agree with you that we need to do more to find, and really we have to have creative ways to work with, to provide opportunity so that everyone can take advantage of the resources and the support that the city provides. But that's our job, and you have a commitment from me and from this council, I believe, to work towards that. Council members.
I would just agree with Councilmember Chairman Hardin has stated. I think that there are programs. I think that I'm working with Director Carter's department, working certainly with Mr. Harris's department, and certainly by hiring Mr. Ryan Schick. That I think that we have to know about those individuals, and we have to come in and present and share what's going on with those individuals, because we want everyone to be able to have access to the programs within the city, as well as you've heard today, that based upon discussions that we've had in the community, that's how we've started a number of new initiatives. And so if we're seeing that there are some individuals or businesses that have great ideas, but there may be some other issues or concerns with them, I think that we will begin to look how we think outside the box. So I think that we're open to doing that, and I would just share with you that, bring those individuals to these departments, bring them to us, and let's figure out how we can help everyone move forward in the city of Columbus.
Director right here.
Sir, I want to address your statements directly. I totally agree with you wholeheartedly. I think in my comments, I wanted to stress that we look at all of the same things that a bank does, to stress that you still need to be professional in your presentation, that you need to have all the same documentation you would walk into a bank with. But because of the dollars that we have, which are taxpayer dollars, whether they're on the federal or city level, we have to be judicious with them. But our job is to, as I call it, work in the gray area. And what I mean by that is it isn't necessarily white or black, whether you are definitely not bankable or you're clearly bankable and you can access capital anywhere. We play in the gray area where a individual may have a great concept, the business has a great product, but their owner or C-level execs may have issues that makes it a little more challenging for them to emerge and go to the next level. And that can be or mean a lot of different things. And so managing the dollars that we have and working with the servicers, i.e. ECDI and Finance Fund and CCDC, we try to make those loans and make those deals happen if the only issue is some of the things that you were inferring. Because people have had challenges, may have had financial issues based on college loans or other things that may hinder their ability to start and grow a successful small business. And so the resources that we have, quite frankly, focus in on those type of businesses and try to help as much as possible. We can't fund them all, but we do fund more than the public know that we do, and we really push our servicers to challenge their lending criteria as well, specifically when they are merging our dollars with theirs to make those type of loans to those small businesses.
Can I just, 30 seconds?
30 seconds, but for the sake of time.
Understood. Yeah.
Mr. Quinten, Mr. Harris, will you hang around and make sure that we finish? And same with you, Mr. Schick. If you have some comments, you can make after we go.
See, the bottom line is that I happen to be one of those people who is asked by others to go out and get information, do homework, and report back like to the Thursday Club, and then we chew it. And so it is not just a personal opinion that I would share. It was the observation of people who live a long time that have done a lot of things. And so we have a present day reality as well as a historical look at where we come from and where we are. And I wanted to share that so that, like you said, it does require thinking out of the box because race and class still matter. That was my point.
Thank you. Next we have Mr. Jerome Jones. Mr. Jones, could you please come to the mic and again state your name, address, and any organization that you represent. Remember that we have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Councilmember Hardin. My name is Jerome Jones. I work at the Ohio Small Business Development Center at Columbus State. Our office is actually at 939 Goodell Boulevard. And just want to say that we provide services to all small businesses. One of our partners is the City of Columbus. I work very closely with Ryan Schick, a reciprocal relationship, referring back and forth, Mr. Harris and Director Carter at the EBO. We provide services such as business planning, strategic planning, deal structuring, and finding financing for those clients that are a little harder to find financing for. I can't find it for everyone, but if there's a way to get it done, I can promise that I will find a way. I will find that way. Again, we provide a number of services. My particular focus is clients within the city of Columbus. We service a 9-county area around Columbus, but my particular focus is the small businesses within the city of Columbus. I've worked with Mr. Trent Smith. I've spoken to Greater Linden Development Council, and I work with a lot of the neighborhood area commissions and small businesses. So I've been doing it for a number of years. My particular passion is helping small businesses. So that's what I've been doing for 2 decades now. So.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Councilmember, what's a good way for folks to find you and your services?
Yes, I'll give you my direct line is 614-287-5543. And my email is jjone110@cscc.edu. They left the S off. It's not J. Jones, it's J. Joan. I don't know why they did that, but for me to speak on it, I guess.
Talk about some of the businesses you've helped or maybe some of the services you all provide.
Sure. Any industry, we've helped a number of industries. Anyone we can help. We can help nonprofits, for-profits, large concentration obviously on food service. We've helped restaurants, daycares. I'm at both restaurant and daycare today, as a matter of fact. A lot of construction, general contracting. So the gamut as far as industries covered. Services provided, business planning, strategic planning, exit planning on the other end. Pretty much any small business need, if we don't provide it directly through our services and our partnerships with City of Columbus and a number of the other organizations you'll probably hear from today.
Actually, just for the sake of time, we're going to have folks, if you will be around after the hearing, we still have 2 more folks to get through, and then we'll be able to kind of, thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Miss Terry Smith. Miss Terry Smith. I apologize. Can you state your name, address, and any organization that you represent?
Hello, everyone. My name is Terry Smith, and I represent Genesis of Good Samaritans Ministries. We're located at 1670 East Main Street, Columbus, Ohio. And today, I only have 3 minutes. I'm going to go get straight to it. Okay. One of our 4 programs that is related to the topic we're talking about today is a job readiness and career development program that we call Ready, Set, Work. During our initial assessments and as we develop career plans, we often hear from many of our participants that they want to start their own businesses regardless of what they are doing currently. We have found that many of the long-term unemployed and those that are harder to place are really already doing the work. They have found alternatives to traditional employment to support themselves, such as cleaning, sewing, cooking, taking care of the elderly, painting. They have just not formalized their businesses and therefore have not legalized their work. I believe at this point, in order to serve those who have still not recovered, and for those who are still find themselves without permanent full-time employment, we need an out-of-the-box approach. So what do we do with these budding entrepreneurs in the inner city? I propose a program, not just an incubator, but an umbrella for those that are unemployed and underemployed, to help these small budding small businesses, the self-employed, these subcontractors, these entrepreneurs, to develop their own individual personal brands and become legitimate tax-paying citizens and small business owners. If you would like to hear more about this, then Genesis of Good Samaritans is just who you need to talk with to start the conversation. We partner now with the Franklin County WEP program, their work experience program. And although we've been successful in helping individuals obtain employment or get enrolled in other workforce development courses, helping those that would desire to become their own boss, entrepreneurs, and small business owners is also a very desirable outcome. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to the continued conversation.
Thank you, Ms. Terry. Council members, any questions? Councilmember Tyson.
Do you offer classes or do you offer programs for women already?
Yes, we offer a job readiness program called Ready, Set, Work, where we teach soft skills and, skills that they need to get back to their job, resume writing. We do career development. And in that, again, we do a lot of self-assessment, and we get them to explore themselves and for them to talk about exactly what is it that you want to do. What are you doing? What are you good at? What do you do naturally? And again, we find in these, in our communities, that a lot of people are already, they have what they call a hustle. They cook, they clean, they do hair. They have those things they do on the side. But again, I believe with just some help and counseling that we could, and education, that we could make them legitimate business owners. Again, entrepreneurs working from their home. Every business does not have to have a sign and brick and mortar. But they could legitimately make a living and become, again, tax-paying citizens and get off the unemployment roll.
And certainly if you have, and that's exactly who they're looking to help. So I would, if you have some women that are certainly looking to, they're already having a business, but they want to make that business a legitimate business, I would absolutely say contact the Women's Business Center at ECDI. They're doing fabulous work there, and I think that would be a great connection between your organization and ECDI. I know they're in the room, so maybe when we finish the hearing, we can introduce you to the individuals, and then you can begin to start that collaboration between your organization and their organization, because we at the city help also fund the Women's Business Center there, and I think it'd just be a great collaboration.
Great, wonderful. Well, lastly, one of the thoughts behind these umbrellas or these incubators would also be that they be located in the neighborhoods, in the most needy neighborhoods, where, again, there would be easy access for those people, again, who can't always make it to make it out to these places, but again, would be, centrally located on the bus line, easily available, so.
I'm sure they'll be flexible, but they're certainly located on the near east side, and they're on the bus. There's a bus right there, and I think you would find that it's been a great collaboration.
Great.
Thank you
very much.
I actually serve on the Women's Business Center Advisory Board, and it's a great center. And the demographic you're talking about is something that I feel very passionate about, and it is not just a side hustle. I mean, that's where a lot of Black businesses have come from.
Yes.
So I do think I'm interested in talking with you as well about ways that we can help help those people. But ECDI is a wonderful opportunity, and we can work with you to help make that happen for people you may know as well.
Great. And just to piggyback shortly on just what the gentleman said here, part of that target demographic is women, of course, single mothers, but also, those that might have backgrounds, that again, find it hard to get employment, but again, they could obtain a skill or something or certification that they would be able to, again, do work that would, be able to provide for themselves and not have to deal with that. Absolutely. Great, thank you.
Lastly, we will hear from Michaela Hahn-Burris. Is Misha's here. Can you please state your name, address, and any organization that you represent? And you have 3 minutes to present.
Hi, thank you so much for having me this evening. My name's Michaela Hahn-Burris. I currently reside at 1363 Thornwood Place in the city of Columbus. And I am the Ohio Outreach Manager with a national nonprofit organization known as Small Business Majority. I am based here in Columbus, Ohio, so I'm a great resource for small business owners specifically located here. Basically, Small Business Majority as a C3 entity aims to do a couple of things, but our overall mission is to bridge the small business and public policy road. So a lot of that means providing resources to small business owners in the form of education on public policy. Specifically, we've been very effective in the healthcare realm in providing very pragmatic, non-ideological, information on the Affordable Care Act. And ultimately, in this public policy area, as with all others, our goal is to be able to impact bottom lines, to provide resources of information that makes it easier for small business owners so that they continue to make investments in job growth and build their businesses and our local economies. Right now, currently, we are working on a few projects here locally, one of which I'd really like to draw attention to, as we've talked a lot about the issue of poverty here in Columbus and entrepreneurship as a pathway and career pathway for young people. Small Business Majority has partnered with the Quinten Foundation nationally to sign up over 200 small businesses nationally to our Opportunity Youth Pledge. Similar to the pledge from the city's office and the mayor's office and many other local organizations, our goal is to address unemployment rates with people between ages 16 and 24 who currently have some education or work experience but no opportunities for jobs. One of our main criteria, for the Opportunity Youth Pledge is we're always looking for testimonials. We're always looking for small business owners who either have internships or willing to mentor. We certainly don't see small business owners as the vehicle for necessarily providing jobs, but perhaps experience or stories that can help young people in identifying whether or not entrepreneurship is the right path for them. We'll also be working on other public policy issues here in Ohio, such as the state's Clean Power Plan and providing information on how those policies might impact small business owners. And we really deal with a wide array of issues, many of which are federal, but we do work on state and local issues as well. So again, I'm here to be a resource of information first and foremost, but if there's small business owners who have positions on policies and want someone who can help amplify that voice, we certainly exist for those purposes as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you all may have. I certainly appreciate having the time to address you today and look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you so much, council members. Thank you, Ms. Hardin. I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. This is something that we've tried to see if folks would find this useful. One, as a way for us to tell folks, or tell the community really, the opportunities that the city has to support small businesses and the great work that we're doing, but also to hear from the community about opportunities for us to increase to support small businesses here in Columbus. I hope you found them useful. We would like to make these more of a series, so I would like to host a hearing centered around female businesses in particular, specifically, as well as one focused on social entrepreneurship in Columbus, and hear from folks who are working in those spaces. I want to continue to come out to different small businesses all around town. And if you have a specific topic that you would like to have a small business hearing focus on, please let me know, my staff know. It's no good to keep the information downtown at City Hall. And so we need to come out and we want to hear from everyone. So I would like to thank Director Carter and her staff, Deputy Director Harris, Ryan Schick, David All, and the work that he's doing. I'd certainly like to thank my council members, Councilmember Jiza Page, Councilmember Priscilla Tyson, and President Ginther in his absence for being here. I would like to thank my staff, Miss Linda. Miss Linda, are you back there? Anyway, Edward, Emerald Hernandez, and LRO, who really helped to put this on. This was a harder lift than you might have thought. So I really want to thank them for helping us figure this out. I definitely want to thank the hardworking folks at CTV who have televised this on Channel 3. This will be rebroadcast, but also you can find it on columbus.gov. And I finally really like to thank you guys for being here. I think that you've proven that We're a community that wants to come out and support each other, and wants to hear the information and share the information. We now need to get it out, but also as a council, we've shown that we want to be out here. We want to hear how we can do better. So I encourage folks to stay, to mingle, to use the resources that are here and the folks that presented. And thank you for coming out. With that, this hearing is adjourned. Thank you.
The only reason why I do is because Hannah told me. You're on TV.
I'm like, I did not know. I come flying from somewhere.